Welcome to the Utu Podcast. Here today is Agere Sigunga. I serve a tribeless youth organization as a program assistant. So we are here to talk about devolution. Tunaitanga ugatuzi. And most of us know it as 47 counties. We have these 47 counties. But today we are maybe just to touch a little bit on what this devolution really means to me and you. Devolution is a transfer of power from, the political, administrative, and also the financial aspect to meet the needs of the people. So in simple terms, I'd say devolution is just bringing services closer to me. We used to rely so much on Nairobi, but right now I don't need to go to Nairobi to get these functions. Mama Mboga does not need, if we require this Mama Mboga to get a certificate, any certification, ama nini, ama ID and stuff, she doesn't need to go to Nairobi. Just here in Nakuru, you get that services, the Huduma centers, and any services that this person wants. So it took us away from the centralized system of government to the devolved county government. The next thing is, I believe we really need to understand where this devolution came from. So by 2002, after we got independence, later to almost 2002 there, we had this Constitution of Kenya Reforms Commission. So these are the people who actually started, they gave us the opportunity to start looking at how our constitutions look like and some of the amendments. So they walitembea kwa country, wakapata views za watu. And that was where actually the devolution was first mentioned. And they also, because they were also checking on balance of power, where the president had the maximum power, control. And most of us remember that mashule mingi zinaitongwa Moi. Moi Girls Sindo, Moi Girls Nyabohanse, Moi Girls what. So it was like president going to a place and deciding, nini, ilio shule nimewapea. Munataka nini, ni hii. So it was president deciding, when will president be able to meet all these needs? How can he manage all this? So people thought that, we don't really have to rely for this presidency and stuff for us to get this devolution. So that is, that commission was actually headed by Yashpal Gai. So scholars wanatumianga hiyo jina sana, Yashpal Gai. And then it led to, we went to the Bomas draft. Also later, about almost 2 or 4. And Bomas draft also mentioned a few things on devolution. It was already a conversation in our spaces, and also introduction of the prime minister's position. So all these moments by the time Kenyans had actually agreed to have this Bomas draft, there's somebody who went behind the people and drafted that thing, and that person was called Amos Wako. So he got the Wako draft, and Wako draft ilienda kaedit vitu mingi sana. Hapo inakuja 205, and this is very crucial for me as a Gen Z, and for many Kenyans who are actually Gen Zs. But that time I believe I was in class 1. But I could tell that there was this campaign in Kenya called the Orange or Banana campaign. And actually it was they edited Bomas draft and came up with Wako draft. Na hiyo Wako draft ilikuwa inaenda kukandamiza wananchi. So people voted no. Still on the constitutional review process. So later we went and had our elections by 2007, which led to post-election violence. And Kofi Annan came to Kenya. Akataka to have a conversation, and then we need to have peace. So there was deliberate need for a new constitutional dispensation. Tufikirie, tukae chini, tuone kama how far can our country go? Because already tumepata hizi mashida, matatizo, na how can we solve all these issues? So Kofi Annan and the commission, they sat down and decided how can we move forward now? So moving forward, it was just a matter of addressing the issues that caused that post-election violence. And new constitutional dispensation ilikuwa inajaribu kuaddress one key thing. 2010 constitution, mimi kwangu nafikirianga tu inajaribu to address just one key thing. And this is an issue on political sanity. The nation. Political bad manners. Constitution yetu ni kubwa, inatoshana hivi. Mbona kuwa hivi kubwa? is because unajaribu even somebody telling you ati kama we ni leader tukichagua unafaa kubehave hivi, unafaa kufanya hii, usifanye hii. So constitutions mingi utufai kukuwa na vitu kama hizo kwa constitution. But why is it that we have these things? Because bad manners, greed ili overtake the wishes, the need of the people, the interests of the people, na wakaanza kupanga vitu zao. So that is why we had this 2010 constitution. And what actually did it try to address now is to introduce hygiene to our politics. So political hygiene, how do we get to this? It now had to form a commission that, we had drafts before. We look at these drafts zenye zilikuwa proposed, what is good for the nation? And that is where now it comes to the national government and the devolved functions. So to redistribute power, that just one person should not have absolute power over the nation. We bring these resources that people were actually fighting for to the public, close to the public. Wakuwe wanaweza pata hizi services mapema vile wanahitaji. So inakuja sasa national government iko na county government iko. So they get their resources. National government collects all these resources and then through equitable share they disburse zingine kwa county. So county iko na budget yake na national government pia na retain zingine. But counties pia inaweza collect pesa yao kivyao through license. Ukienda kwa market pale unapata kama they collect these license fees za trade permits, so parking fees, so vitu kama hizo tunapatanga hiyo ni on source revenue, ile county na pata kivyake, na national government toa through ile equitable share wanapata tena ingine, so it amounts to something. Yeah, like Nakuru saizi tunapata kitu kama almost 22 billion shillings. So Nakuru has like 22 billion shillings. Okay, combine both. So on a project and then they get this money. The next big thing now we are supposed to we can talk about is now this county governments. Kwa constitution yetu hapo kwa the 4th schedule ina talk about hapo kwa tunaongea kuhusu mambo ya devolution na how powers wa separation of powers. So national government will retain some functions. County government also has their functions to perform. So national government generally they focus on the ones that are cross-border, something that has the national outlook. So either be it in terms of preventing things that may attack country as a Kenya as a whole. So when talking about defense, ministries of defense, national security, police, intelligence services, ziko hapale. When we talk about foreign affairs, the relation between one country to another, Kenya relating to Uganda, ama Museveni, ama nani, that one hapo tunakuja tunasema, that one also bado ni ya national government. Bado nakuja pia education. There are some functions like education. Utapata kama from primary school zikienda juu mpaka university, that is ziko bado kwa national government. Lakini wanasaidia hapo kwa mambo za policy, na pia kuna some other functions zingine bado kwa education yenye bado ziko kwa county government. The same as ministry like health. Then sasa tunakuja kwa county government. Unapata kama county government bado kuna share some roles. Iko na some roles. Agriculture is county government function. Yenye tunaandika pale extension officers, this veterinary officer services, so at least ili meet services zenye watu wanahitaji hapa kwa ground. Health, there's to a certain level where we have level mpaka almost up of 4 county hospitals, health centers, dispensaries. Those are purely county government roles. And then bado nilosema wana share education. Education walichukua kitambo sana hawakuwa na employ ECD teachers, early childhood development education. They used not to employ these people sana. Either it was a PTA like parents teachers association sort of, ama some well wishers just to train or module our kids into good citizens for the country. But now, this is purely a function of the county government, and they've employed so many nursery school teachers. And then you get to TVETs, Technical Vocational Education Training Centers, which also are part of the county, devolved county functions. And you go to other sectors as well, kama housing. imekuwa very big issue hapa kwa nation. Tunajaribu kusema housing ni proposal ya mtu, affordable housing, ama siku hizi sijui wengine wanasema avoidable housing, but kitu tunasema ni it is a function. The implementation aspect of housing is purely a function of the county government, but when it comes to policy, that is where the national government should come in, either because everybody at least contributes to that. Any civil servant contributes to that. But now it is a county, because they are the people who own these lands. They know the community lands. So that is also part of the county government function. We also have like transport. Transport, there are other roads that maybe transcends so many counties, has national interest, be it like A1s, the classes. They have the classes like A104. I don't know, it starts from Mombasa to, I guess, over to the border, Uganda tunaingia huko. That is national government. We have some of the big classes as well. But then the county government now comes in when it comes to like the county roads within the counties. We talk about maraming grading of these small roads. Hatutaki kuita panya routes, but that is purely a function of the county government. And that is something that is very instrumental to us. Devolution imefanya vitu mingi, na tunaweza sema according to how our constitution envisioned it, it has lived to achieve so much, because already I know who represent what, where, at least na penye naweza enda kushughulikiwa. So now kuna hizo roles zenye zilikuwa devolved. Roles, ukipewa hizo functions zikikuwa devolved, resources should follow functions. So resources zikifuata functions, then this always means that there's also somebody who is administratively in charge of that docket, whom we can also hold liable. So when you come to counties, you find the administrative function. The administrator is the governor. I don't know, calling them mini presidents will be good, but they are His Excellencies within the counties, and they are being supported by the county, the executive commissioners and the CECs, and we have also the legislative body that supports them. And this legislative body comprises of the MCAs, members of the county assemblies. Yes, so when it comes to issues like any legislative issue within the county is being addressed by the MCA. Sometimes we confuse these things. We always ask, there's the MCA, and also we have these people called the senators. And then there's also another function, MPs. So there's the relation, how government, because county government and national government, they are integrated, they're properly defined in terms of roles they're supposed to perform. But they should work in a symbiotic relationship. Like however much hatuko like kila mtu afanye kazi yake, lakini kuna penye inatushika pamoja. Like we have to do this together. So one needs each other to properly function. So that is what county governments, how they operate. So we have this position called MP, Member of Parliament. So members of Parliament, generally, they represent the constituencies, yes, at the national level. So they advocate on issues at the national level. And we have another one here called Senate. Senate are representatives from the county. Wanatoka kwa county. Lakini they represent the interest of the counties at their assembly, the Senate. This senator mwenye anafanyia kazi county, lakini county zote kwa jumla Kenya. Ndio kwa maana tukiwa mtoto anajaribu kuambianga watu that mimi si senator wa huko Ushago, nafanyia tu vitu za watu Ushago pekee. Mimi nimechaguliwa na watu Ushago, ni represent counties wapi kwa the nation Kenya. But kuna mambo zenye zinahitaji zinahusu counties sana. Zile zenye how are we going to budget? How are we going to do these things? Hizo ni kazi za MCA. MCA ndio legislate within the county. Lakini ikifika vitu zenye sasa zinaenda juu, national government relations na county, it is to the Senate that will form the policies they'll help even in terms of budgeting for these counties zipate hizo equitable share na any other issue that concerns the county at the national level, they are the people to adjudicate ama legislate on. But MCAs pia kuna kazi yake hapo bado, yeye ndiye ana oversight kila kitu inafanyika pia within the counties, na pia wakishapata hizo budget zao wametumia, they have to present it to the nation at the Senate level. So senators wanaenda through this process, wanajua hii na hii na hii inafaa ama this was done wrong. So that is why you see your governors go to the Senate. Sometimes siku hizi wanajaribu kupinga ama wataki kuenda, wakienda huko wataki kusikiza, but which is bad. But what we know is that they are supposed to be that symbiotic relationship to keep these people checked, because power must be checked. If you don't check power, then it may be misused. So that is a brief concept of what devolution is to me, and I believe it is to you.